Imagine having the key to true freedom, a life where no one's opinion controls you, where you're unshaken by rejection, and where inner peace is always within reach. But in today's world, it seems everyone has an opinion, constantly pulling you in different directions, trying to influence your path. So, how would you handle that pressure? This is the wisdom that Buddhism offers, a way to rise above the noise and unlock your fullest potential by focusing on yourself. Today, we're exploring 10 powerful Buddhist lessons that show us how to let go of others' opinions and take full control of our lives. Lesson 1. Stop relying on others for happiness. As Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. True happiness isn't about gaining approval or praise from others. It's something you create within yourself. When we depend on others for happiness, we give them control over our emotions, which often leads to disappointment. Buddhism teaches us to be content within ourselves, to appreciate the present, and to feel gratitude for what we already have. Building this inner peace creates a foundation that no one can take from you. Lesson 2. Don't fear being alone. It's where true strength lies. Buddha reminds us, meditate, live purely, be quiet, do your work with mastery. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's a place to grow stronger. In time alone, we find the clarity to understand ourselves, reflect, and grow. Instead of looking to others for comfort or validation, we can learn to become our own best companion. Embracing solitude brings inner power and a confidence that nothing external can shake. Lesson 3. Quit seeking approval from everyone. You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Buddha's words remind us that the approval we need most is our own. Constantly looking to others for validation pulls us away from true self-acceptance. Buddhism teaches that confidence comes from within, not from the opinions of others. When you approve of yourself, you're free from the stress of seeking outside validation and free to live with peace. Lesson 4. Don't let rejection define you. Rejection is part of life, but it doesn't determine your worth. Instead of seeing rejection as a failure, view it as an opportunity to grow. Buddha reminds us that, in the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Letting go with grace frees you from pain and opens you to new possibilities. Lesson 5. Stop fearing what others think of you. One of our greatest sources of stress is worrying about others' opinions. Buddhism teaches us that others' judgments are often reflections of their own issues, not of us. Focus on your own journey and let go of trying to control how others see you. When you release this fear, you'll find a freedom to be authentically you, and with it, a deep inner peace. Lesson 6. Don't sacrifice your peace to please others. We often try to please everyone, whether at work, with friends, or even with family. But no matter how hard you try, it's impossible to satisfy everyone, and you end up sacrificing your own peace. Buddha reminds us, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. By setting boundaries, you preserve your peace, live more authentically, and give from a place of strength. Lesson 7. Focus on what you can control. Yourself. Much of our stress comes from trying to control things outside of us, other people, situations, outcomes. Buddhism teaches that clinging to what's beyond our control only brings suffering. Buddha said, "Rule your mind, or it will rule you." By focusing on mastering your thoughts and reactions, you gain control over your life and become resilient to outside chaos. Imagine the freedom of knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else's actions. Lesson 8. Realize that people are focused on their own lives. We often think others are watching and judging us constantly. But here's the truth. Most people are so wrapped up in their own lives, they're not focusing on us nearly as much as we think. Realizing this can be incredibly freeing. Fear of judgment is a huge barrier that keeps us from being our authentic selves. Whether it's worrying about how we dress, speak, or act, we assume others are scrutinizing every detail. But Buddhism reminds us to let go of this burden, to live freely without the weight of others' opinions. As Buddha once taught, your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. This means we each have a unique journey to follow. People are busy with their own goals, problems, and dreams. Rather than worrying about what others might think, focus on discovering and embracing your path wholeheartedly. Once you realize that people aren't thinking about you as much as you think, you'll feel a weight lifted. Instead of living up to others' expectations, you can redirect that energy to becoming the best version of yourself. Just consider, how often do you worry about what others think of you, compared to how much you focus on your own challenges and goals? The truth is, most people are dealing with their own insecurities and struggles, leaving them little time to dwell on you. This understanding brings the freedom to be authentic, to make decisions that feel right, and to pursue your passions without constant fear of judgment. A key teaching in Buddhism is non-attachment, not just to material things, but to the opinions of others as well. When you stop seeking external approval, you open yourself up to a life that's more genuinely your own. You can focus on personal growth instead of others' perceptions, which brings greater confidence and peace. Remember, everyone you meet is facing their own battles. Recognizing this can help you let go of the fear of judgment, building empathy and understanding in the process. People aren't judging you because they're too busy navigating their own lives. By worrying less about others and more about your own journey, you'll notice a newfound sense of freedom and lightness. You'll feel empowered, taking control of your destiny. Living authentically without fear of judgment is the key to unlocking your potential. You'll take more risks, pursue things that genuinely bring you joy, and live with a sense of purpose. The world is too vast and life too short to live in the shadows of what others may or may not be thinking. Embrace your purpose and commit to it fully. When you release the need for validation, you create the space for self-discovery, a stronger connection with yourself, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Lesson 9. Don't get caught up in social comparison. One of the most common traps in life is comparing ourselves to others, whether it's looks, career, success, or happiness. Constant comparison leads to feelings of envy, frustration, and a sense of inadequacy. Buddhism teaches that comparison is a form of attachment that ultimately causes suffering. Measuring yourself against others distracts you from your own journey and the progress you've made along the way. Buddha once said, "Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship." This quote reminds us that true happiness isn't found by having more than others. It's found through contentment. When you're truly content with what you have and who you are, inner peace follows. Social comparison, on the other hand, keeps you focused on what you lack, rather than appreciating what you already have. With social media, it's easier than ever to fall into this trap. We scroll through highlight reels of perfect vacations, luxurious lifestyles, and success stories. But what we don't see are the struggles behind those images, the insecurities, challenges, and obstacles others face. Remember that everyone's journey is different, and comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel only creates unhappiness. Buddhism encourages us to live in the present moment and to cultivate gratitude. Instead of looking outward at others, turn inward and focus on your growth. Practicing gratitude helps you recognize the blessings in your own life and see how far you've come. The more you appreciate what you have, the less you feel the need to compare. Comparison often leads to competition, which can breed jealousy and resentment. Buddhism warns that these emotions cloud the mind and pull us away from a peaceful path. Constant competition leaves us feeling unsatisfied and robs us of the joy that comes from living authentically. Recognize that everyone's path is different, and someone else's success doesn't lessen your own. When you let go of comparison and focus on living in alignment with your own values and goals, true contentment follows. Your self-worth no longer depends on external standards. Instead, it's rooted in inner peace and self-acceptance. Social comparison can distract you from what truly matters, pursuing goals or possessions that don't align with your desires simply because you see others doing it. Buddhism teaches that true happiness is found by following your own path, not someone else's. Non-attachment is the antidote to comparison. It doesn't mean you can't have goals. It means recognizing that your value doesn't come from outperforming others. Your value lies in staying true to yourself and your journey. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you'll find a sense of peace that no achievement can provide. 10. Prioritize inner growth over external validation. In today's world, many of us are conditioned to seek validation from others, whether through family, friends, colleagues, or social media. Buddhism teaches that true fulfillment and peace come from within. The more you chase external validation, the further you stray from your true self, making self-worth dependent on others' opinions and leading to constant dissatisfaction. As Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Your inner world holds incredible power. By focusing on personal growth and self-awareness, you become stronger and more at peace. But when you're always looking for approval, you become trapped by others' opinions. Buddhism teaches that the path to enlightenment lies in mindfulness and self-transformation, not in what others think. The pursuit of external validation is tied to the ego, which craves recognition and status. But the ego is never satisfied. No amount of approval will ever be enough. Buddhism encourages us to go beyond the ego by turning inward and seeking fulfillment through self-awareness and compassion. The more you prioritize inner growth, the less power the ego has over you. When you focus on inner growth, your worth isn't based on how others see you. It's grounded in personal values, integrity, and development. Success isn't measured by external standards, but by how you've grown as a person, whether you're more patient, compassionate, or mindful than yesterday. These are the true markers of progress, and they come from within. External validation is fleeting and can disappear as quickly as it came. It's unstable, and relying on it for happiness will lead to anxiety and frustration. Inner growth, however, creates lasting qualities like resilience, self-awareness, and emotional strength. These gifts serve you through life's ups and downs and build a foundation for true peace. Prioritizing inner growth doesn't mean ignoring the outside world, but recognizing that the most important work happens within. As you grow, you'll become a better friend, partner, and community member, bringing patience, compassion, and wisdom to your relationships. Inner growth isn't selfish. It's the foundation for a more harmonious and fulfilling life for you and those around you. When you choose inner growth over external validation, you free yourself from the pressure of others' expectations and live more authentically. This shift not only leads to inner peace, but also attracts meaningful connections. Remember, the path to true power is rooted in self-awareness and inner growth, not in the approval of others. When you focus inward, you create a life where outer chaos can't touch your calm. You become less reactive, more intentional, and grounded in peace, inspiring those around you. This practice isn't about detaching from the world, but understanding that your energy is best spent on what you can truly control: yourself. Master your reactions, and you'll find that no external challenge can shake your foundation. This is where true power lies. Join us as we continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Buddhism and discover how it can transform the way you see yourself and the world. If this message resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others looking for peace and balance in their lives.